let's go ahead and dive on into our onboarding training for today. So, the first place to start is going to be Capri.ai.us as always. So, if you have not signed up for our beta yet, 14 days for free. We are going to be out of beta very soon, so we are probably going to reduce the time on that free trial, but get it while the getting's good. Go ahead and sign up and you get 2 week free trial. So from here, you can see we do have a quick start menu item. So I'm going to choose to use the quick start today. I don't normally do that. I normally do it from scratch, but I figure we can make it a little bit quicker by clicking on one of these options. So we have marketing agency, dental, real estate. I'm going to use custom because today I am going to be setting up an agent for roofing. You haven't started your roofing one yet, have you, Thomas?
No, not yet.
Great. So this roofing, since I live in North Georgia, we're going to call this North Georgia Roofing. I know I'm so creative. Thank you. We're going to name this assistant Brittany because girls have it easier and they always get responses when men don't. And then the business location, this is going to be North Georgia. North Georgia. And I don't have a website because I didn't make a fake one for this. But if you have a website, definitely go from there. So for adding your OpenAI key, all you have to do if you don't have one yet, just click on get it here and then come in here and add your OpenAI secret key. So I'm going to add a bunch of fake stuff, fake key, click next. And then from here, you can put FAQs. So let me put something like, do you work with my insurance? We're absolutely willing to work with your home insurance to make sure any damage or repairs that need to be made can be covered if possible. So that's a good FAQ. Let's see, what's another good FAQ for roofing? Let's say, how long will it take? Our team can usually get in and out within 1 day as the weather holds up. Say something like that. Click add, and then I'll click finish. So what we're doing right here, we are using AI to build this, so it can be a little slow. So definitely bear with it sometimes. But basically what we're going to do here is we're going to take that key that you gave us. We're going to take the FAQs and we are going to generate a new prompt for you using our templates. And now I'm realizing that the key I gave was incorrect, but it still worked. Great. So as you can see, we are now in our agents details page. So what we do here is give you a little tour to let you know, like, hey, this is the AI provider section. This is where you configure your AI provider. This is where you set the prompt. And we'll walk through what that prompt looks like. Down here is where you add data sources and agents, or I'm sorry, actions. So you can add a Google Sheet, you can add a high level calendar. You can also now add Google or high level tags. You can update high level custom fields, all that good stuff. And then once you're happy with the actions that you have added, you are good to start testing. So if we look in here at what gets set up initially, we always start with 3.5 turbo since that's the cheaper model. And the account is going to be the API key that you gave. Now, obviously, this is a fake key and 3.5 turbo. It's not my preferred model. 4 turbo is not that much more expensive and it does really good quality. So I want to put a different key that actually works so that during this demo, we can actually see it working. But just so you know, that is how it'll show up. If you want to edit your advanced settings too, in terms of the temperature, the max length, the frequency, all of that you can set here. So from here, we'll see we have our prompt. So this prompt uses our initial template that we set for basically every agent that we set. This part up here is not so much required anymore now that the models have been improved. Before we could get 4.5 turbo or 4 turbo, whatever it's called, we had to be a little bit more specific and include more details within the prompt. But they're more updated prompts or their more updated models seem to be doing a lot of what's in this prompt anyway, so we don't really need it. So totally up to you if you want to keep it in there. You can test it out with both. If you're using 3.5 turbo to keep costs down, highly recommend using this so that you have more instructions, but if not, totally up to you. So I'm going to remove that and then we'll take a look at what our prompt looks like here. So every prompt is going to follow basically the same structure. So you're going to give an introduction saying, "You are Brittany, the friendly assistant for North Georgia Roofing." That's the intro. So this is now the assistant knows who it is. Then we're going to introduce the business. So North Georgia Roofing is a professional roofing service provider located in North Georgia. North Georgia Roofing is able to help with things like roof repairs, maintenance, and insurance claims assets. Your job is to answer any questions the contact may have. So this is an introduction into the business. So North Georgia Roofing this is who they are. And then from here, it's what your job is as the assistant. So your job is to answer any questions and try to schedule an appointment for the contact to meet with a member of our team. The initial meeting is totally free, and it's where the contact discuss more details about what they're looking to help with and how our team can get them the resources they needed. Scheduling the contact is your primary goal. And so again, this is the job. So this is how the AI kind of knows what its job is in the business. And then now we want to give it a goal, right? So there is a difference between a job and a goal. A job is just this is what you're here for, and this is generally what you're responsible for. A goal is you telling the AI how to handle situations where maybe the contact isn't being as engaging, maybe they're not moving forward in the conversation the way that it goes, maybe they're trying to move it around and ask other questions and stuff like that. This gives it that center task that it should stay with. Even if the conversation goes off the rails and moves into other stuff, it still is going to come back to, great, can we go ahead and get your first appointment scheduled? And we can go over everything there. So that's what the goal is for. And then down here is the rule. So if the contact asks a question that you're not able to answer truthfully, answer with, "I'm not entirely sure about that." Do not answer any questions you were not directly asked by the contact. So we put these every single time. These are always the rules that the AI should follow. And you can remove them as you would like or add more rules, but it's so that you can customize the conversation flow to be how you want it to be. So that is our prompt. And with this, we have enough to at least start, right? So we can start testing. So to start testing, we'll go into the emulator and we'll say something along the lines of, "Hey, this is Brittany from North Georgia Roofing. I saw we just got a missed call from you. How can I help?" So the reason I'm putting this as the first message is because you can see over here on the right-hand side, we have a little drop-down arrow that says send as bot. And the reason I always do this as the first message is because generally, especially for local service providers, missed call text back is one of the most valuable offers that you can give to our clients or to your clients. So to be able to train the AI on what it can expect to see, we first send the outbound message going from the assistant. And that way, the next message that comes inbound, it'll know how to pick up the conversation from there. So I'll say something like, "Yeah, we just got a leak come up last night after the hailstorm. Need someone to come take a look for the insurance." Something like that. So now that our message is in here, it's going to use the settings that we have for this AI, which in this case is GPT-4 Turbo, and all the temperature settings and everything, to say, "Sorry to hear about that. We can definitely help with that. Our team is experienced in roof repairs and can assist with insurance claims as well. Would you like to schedule a free initial meeting so that we can come out and assess it?" So not bad, but a little bit long for my liking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and click response info, click on edit. I like everything except, let me just say, what it works best for our team to come take a look. So this isn't too bad, and this kind of leads the conversation into scheduling, right? So I like this, so I'm going to click save session. And then now the next thing I want it to be able to do is collect some information from the user about their address, city, state, all that. So now I'm going to come back. I'm going to do this in two ways. One, I'm going to update the prompt. I'm going to say, I'm going to move this down a little bit so that I like to have separation in my prompt. So this is the rules section. So it starts with if the contact asks a question that you're not able to answer truthfully. So I like having that separated down from the rest of it. So scheduling the contact is your primary goal. So down here at the end of it, to schedule the appointment, you should start by asking the contact, or let's say the user, for their full address, including the city and zip code. So I'm going to save that. And now my instructions are updated. But the whole point of Capri is to do a lot more than just instructions and a lot more than just prompting. We want to be able to reinforce that prompting. So now I'm going to come here and I'm going to do a very similar message, which I always like to do this. I'll duplicate this, come back to the emulator, look at the most recent one, and put that here. So put that message, click send as bot. And now say something like, had a leak in our attic for a few months now. Just looking, get a quote on it. Something like that. So people don't like to be very clear about what they're having issues with. So we had a leak in our attic for a few months now and just looking to get a quote on it. So it should say, great, can I get your address, please? Right? Like that's the first thing that we would expect the agent to do. So once we get a response here, it's been a little slow today. OpenAI has been nice and slow today. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I might have had a network blip. Those are always fun. So if you're with me in the Facebook group, if you're live, please let me know. Leave a comment down below, thumbs up, something like that. Let us know that you're live. But as you can see here, I'm glad you reached out. We can certainly help to get started. Could you please provide me with your full address, including the city and zip code? So that's not too bad, but I think it's a little long. So again, I'm just going to remove that, save, and then I'm going to provide my address. So I'm going to say 3276 North Wall Way, say Buford, PO 519. Perfect. So now that's got my address, I should go back again to asking for what day works best for us to come out and take a look. So I like that flow. So again, I'm going to click save session. And then now, just so that I know what my sessions are saved for, I'm going to come up to the edit button. Now I'm going to say collect address, ask for day. So this way I know that in this sample, that is what I'm doing. And of course, to be useful, what I really want to do is I want to update this contact with that address, right? So as we can see, there's no actions here just yet. So I click add, I'm going to choose GHL channel, custom field. We can see we don't have any custom fields added to this agent just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add new resource, take me to the wrong place. So I'm going to come back to my agents page, go to the right place, which is back here in my agents page. And in my agents page, I'm now going to add GHL channel as a provider, click custom field. And then I'm going to say contact.address one. And the reason that I got that, just so that you guys can all see where I'm pulling that from, is if I go to custom fields, I think under custom field, I don't think it's listed under custom fields. So I'm just going to go back to the conversation I was in. I'll bring this guy over to the screen so that you guys can see as well. So because the reason that I put address one like this is because if I come here, this is not the best way to get it, but it's a way to get it. If I click on more contact, and then I do address like this. So address one is the city, If you do full address, so if you want to update the full address, you can update the whole address as one, like the city, state, zip code, whatever. But what a lot of people prefer to do is do the street address as one. So do contact.address one. Then they like to have contact.city, and then they like to have contact.postal code. So they like to have them as three different fields. So that's how we're going to set it up in our bot as well. So taking this custom field, whoops, I didn't mean
So,
to do that.
real quick, just some clarity in case that causes any confusion. Address one is actually the street
Yes,
address rather than the city.
exactly. So to evaluate that, I'm going to say evaluate only when that field is empty because there's no use in using tokens to try to update it if it's not empty. And then in the prompt content, I'm going to say something like, um, update this field with the user's address, but only the street address. Do not include the city or zip code. Those will be updated in separate fields, not this one. And that might seem a little excessive, but again, we're talking to a language model here. And so reiterating our point as many times as possible is going to help the success of it actually, doing correctly. So I'll go ahead and click submit. And so that's for address one. And then the next one I want to do is going to be GHL channel, custom field. And then in this one, I'm going to do contact.city. Oops. And again, only when field is empty and update this field with the user's city from their address. Only update the city, not the full address or the postal code, as those will be included in other fields, but not this one. And then we're going to do it one more time and we're going to do it for postal code. So I'm going to come back here, make sure I get it right. Contact postal code. Put that right here. And then again, I'm going to copy the same thing, but postal code. So copy, paste over it. So do not include the city or street address, but not this one. Perfect. So now I've got these three fields that should get updated. And just to make sure that it picks up on the address, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to now add those as examples. So add GHL channel, custom field, address, and the address is going to be this one. And then same thing, but for the city, I'm going to put Buford. And then the postal code is going to be the next one. Here, postal code, save. Perfect. And then you shouldn't have to unsave or resave or anything. As you update, it should add examples. But just to be sure, if you want to absolutely make sure that the data gets updated, you can always unsave and then resave that session. And then now it'll include those examples in the save session as well. So now I'm going to just do a new session and just see if my training is taking over. So again, I'm going to use the same outreach message here. Hey, oops, click here, do send as bot. Then I'm going to say, I don't know, tree limb fell off and damaged of the roof during the storm last night. Can you guys work with insurance? I don't know. Trying to change it up. I try not to do the same message every single time because one time somebody accused me of having fixed responses on one of our bots saying like, oh, you're just asking the same thing over and over again. And of course it's going to respond properly. So now I make it a point to make sure that my test messages are as different as physically possible. So that way people know that like, hey, I'm showing you this is actually working. So we can definitely work with your insurance to address. We can help you through the claims process. What day and works best for our team to come take a look? So let's say anytime tomorrow is fine. I'll be off all day. Now, I would have preferred that I would ask for the address first because eventually I am going to add the calendar. But first, I'm going to make sure that this does what I expect it to do, which it does. We can schedule it, finalize a visit. Can I get your full address? So I'm going to say 4376 uh Notting Court. That sounds like fun. Gainesville 05555. And now, because I have that training sample saved in here, it should understand. Now, it may take a couple more times. One save session is kind of asking a lot of the model to figure it out. So, if it doesn't do it on the first time, one extra save training session can help. I know on my other agent that I did for a local service business, which was garage door repair, um, it did really well after updating it once. And hey, there we go. It got it on the first time. So 3055 Gainesville 430. Yep. Perfect. So that's a pretty good sample there. I like that. It says, let me know what time would be most convenient for you. So now what I want to do is say I wanted to also have read the calendar in that case, right? Because now that we have the address and we know that tomorrow is the preferred day, ideally it would have read the calendar during this turn as well. So then to do that, I would come here and I would say GHL calendar, read, and I don't have one added to this agent yet. So I'll click add new resource, take me to the integrations page. So to connect your calendar, man, my internet, I think I'm asking too much of my computer today. I'm streaming and I have like four windows open and yeah. So it looks like I had a little bit of an internet blip there again. So anyway, where it will take you is integrations. So once you click on add new in that window, if you don't have one added yet, it'll take you back here. And in your integrations page, this is where you'll click add new. In my case, I want to add a GHL calendar. So I'll click on GHL calendar, click connect with high level, and then I'll choose the account that I want to connect. And then it'll ask me for the calendar from that account that I want to connect. So I'm going to choose Discovery Call. We already have this one connected, so should be fine. But yeah, calendar already connected to the organization. So I already have it connected, but you'll see, hey, it's been connected. Yay. Once it gets connected there, it'll show up here as one of the calendars that you can choose from. And then to add it to your agent, all you do is go back to your agent, click into it, click add, DHL calendar, choose that calendar that you want to add, and say use this calendar to find availability for our team to come out to the user's house. You should only read this calendar once the user has provided their full address, including the city and zip code. Read the calendar when the user or assistant is coordinating. That's a little bit too much. Let me just say, read the calendar when, you know what? I don't even need to be that specific about it. So click submit. And then now, again, test the calendar. So come back one more time. I may run out of time here before I get to finish my demo. Got about 7 minutes left. So we'll see how that goes. So now I'm going to say, um, just purchased a home. There's a few leaks we'd like to get looked. Actually, no, I'm gonna say trying to sell our home because that's more realistic. Trying to sell our home, need to get a few spots looked at. One spot is leaking. Sure, that sounds like fun. Trying to sell our home, need to get a few spots looked at, and one spot is leaking. So now, let's see what day works best for us to come out and take a look. So I'm gonna say anytime tomorrow works or whatever you have available this weekend, if possible. I'm realizing that these calls are a lot of me just talking to myself, which is really fun. So if you guys are here and you're on the Facebook Live, let me know I'm not talking to myself. Otherwise, we're just gonna record these and let you guys go over them yourself. Great. So could we schedule? So it did not read the calendar, which is good because it has not asked for the address yet and has not been provided. So that's good. It's following the prompt for the calendar. I like that. So now I'm gonna say the address is 4321 uh Main Garden Way. I don't know. Flower Branch 30221. These are completely fake addresses. Please don't try to come to these places. They don't exist. Uh but do let me know if you're with us uh in the live so that we can, just feel better about ourselves, I guess. Because Thomas and Seth get to watch me do this all the time. This is really a treat for you guys, for being honest. So anyway, now that we have three or four actions tied to the agent, you will see it slow down, and that's just because one, we have to respect OpenAI's rate limits, and two, we're now doing a lot more. So we're reading the calendar, we're doing a lot more requests. So like every field that we want to update, for example, it's like address, city, postal code. These are all individual requests that we're making to OpenAI. Same thing for the calendar. We're doing two requests actually to see like, one, do we even need to update this field? And then two, what's the value we need to update the field with? And same thing with the calendars. Like, do we need to read it? And two, if we do need to read it, what is the date range we should read? So, like in this case, it read from tomorrow until the 11th. So it just kind of did the full 11-day range. We want to see what's available. And it looks like tomorrow, Friday, February 2nd. So that is the right date. So I do trust this accuracy. We have the following times: 10:30, 12:30, 1, 2, and 4. Please let me know which time works for you. And I will say 1 p.m. is perfect. So then now what I would expect it to do is book the appointment, right? But we don't have that as an action yet. So again, to do the same thing, to get an action added into here, which of course this is going to do it all again. We are working on making it so that if like a custom field action happens during a conversation in the emulator, it doesn't do it again every time. In the CRM, it won't do that. In the CRM, it'll only evaluate it if the field is empty, if that's what you have the like option set to. Um, but great, I have you scheduled for 1 p.m. Our team will come to here. And is there anything else I can assist you with today? So it did all the actions again just because we don't have the filter on here yet. We'll update that so that it's not doing them every single time in the emulator. But doing this in the CRM, we would have ended up with an updated contact field, which I mean, I just did this yesterday. So you can see I did a different conversation where it was for heating and air, and it said, "Hey, this is Becky from North Georgia Heating and Air. So we just got a missed call from you. How can I help?" Said our heat went out last night. It's like 60 degrees in our bedroom. Can I please get your address and the zip code? So then I provided the address and the zip code, and as you can see here, street address, city, postal code, all those got updated on that request, and then from there, it said, "Can I get your first and last name?" That's because this is a missed call. A lot of times on missed calls, we're not going to have the first and last name because we're not going to know who it was. And then from there, said, "As soon as possible." And it said, "Great, we have an opening tomorrow. Would you prefer 10, 11, 12:30, or 1?" I said 10 a.m. is fine. And then there we go. Appointment details updated. And then I have another automation that runs that says, "Got your appointment confirmed for 10 a.m. Can't wait to see you. See you soon." Whatever. And um, all the way from a missed call to booked appointment on the calendar without any human having to be involved in the CRM. And their whole thing is updated. So yeah, that's what you can do with these agents now. So the only thing that we would be missing on here to make that full functionality is just adding a calendar write action. So just say GHL, not channel, GHL calendar, discovery call. And then this time we're going to do a write, and then you see the write is set to silent. And this is so that the appointment gets booked, but it doesn't send any messages from the bot. And we recommend doing that so that way you can have your confirmation message send out and not ours. And you could take other automations in terms of like adding a tag, making sure it gets opted out from future outreach messages, all that kind of stuff. So just say add appointments to this calendar when the day and time for the appointment have been confirmed by the assistant. And the full address, including the city and zip code, have been provided by the user. Nice and simple. Click save. And then to actually get it to work in the CRM before you go to test it in the CRM, once you're happy with the emulator sessions, all you got to do is click active. And once you activate it, it's now able to be used in the CRM. And then any requests that you send will come through in here. So, like in the one that I did yesterday, you can see my history here, see how many tokens are being used, see what actions are being done, all that kind of stuff. Then, of course, if any fallbacks happen, you'll see them show up here. So that's it for today. That is our quick start through Capri. Took right at 30 minutes. So that's with me explaining everything as well. Could do it a lot faster if I just did it myself. But that should provide as much guidance as we can possibly give you on how to set all this up. But if it wasn't enough, and if our support team isn't able to answer your questions, or if you're looking to have more direct support, I'm happy to announce we do offer a more premium support offering now. If you have any questions about that at all, please connect with Thomas. He's in the Facebook group, he's here on the call. He can answer any questions about what other support offerings we have, what other partnership programs we have, and we are openly enrolling in that right now. So we're super happy to share it with you. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to connect with Thomas on Facebook. Cool. All right, guys. Well, if you have questions you weren't able to make it today, make sure again, submit questions to the form below. We'll go through them on our next call. Otherwise, try to join live if you can. And we'll see you all at the next one. Happy Thursday.